Everybody, welcome to the 12 o'clock time of Speaker Co-working. I'm Ron Story Jr., the we should have let Bart do it. No, I'm joking. The head of operations. No, I'm not. I'm the head of something at Speaker Up. I'm here with Angela Lewis. She's the head of operations. She makes everything go. This is a great time to be a speaker. I can't think of a better time in the history of Earth to be a speaker. And um, I'm going to explain. We're going to talk about that today, like how Airbnb destroyed the speaking industry, but how this is the greatest time to be a speaker thanks to AI. Um, Everybody's so afraid of AI and all of that. We're going to talk about that today and how being a speaker is the only thing that can't be replaced by AI. Kyle, do you have any kids or anything like that? You and Becca?
I do. I have one son. He is going to be 19 tomorrow, actually.
You had some great memories with your son?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Yep.
Can you imagine AI trying to say, yeah, my son turns 19 tomorrow? That's weird, right? So, the real life stories are the differentiator between humans and computers. We've actually lived the things that they were programmed to know, right? And as humans, we want to interact with other folks that have similar experiences, that we can ask deeper questions. Those memories that you have with your son, you didn't upload into AI so that it could give you a perspective. And I think that that's where our advantage is as speakers. So we're going to get into that a little bit today. Good to see you, Lynette. It's always good. Jasmine, Bart, AJ, John. Any wins that we want to talk about so far? Any wins? Any new podcasts? AJ, I know you do 4 podcasts a day. Bart, anything new on your side? Lynette?
And just booking them.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
that's
about to
cool.
say I don't talk about wins because I'll be talking about like every day I'll be like, oh, got a podcast. Like that's just something we do now. That's
Okay, hey man, once the ball is running, I think people underestimate the power of momentum, right? Once, as a financial advisor, it was always hard to not have a book calendar because once you got in the habit of making calls, you were just booked out for the next 6 weeks anyway. And the only way to kill it was to go and cancel everything, but then you had to explain to everybody why you canceled their meetings. And it's like, well, I may as well just keep the momentum going. But the hardest part is that first week, getting those first few sales calls. And I remember when I first went on a podcast and I got my first lead, and I was like, "Holy crap!" And then the next thing I thought was, "Man, if I'd have did 10 of these, I'd have had 10 leads. If I got better, I could turn this one lead into 5." Right? So you start learning about momentum and the power of momentum and why the hard part is getting the rocket off the ground. But once it's in orbit, it's in orbit. It ain't much you can do about it once it's in orbit. It's gonna float and be up there, but you gotta get that thing launched. So let's talk about that because I think that that's a big deal. And here's why I said that being a speaker, this is probably the best time to ever be a speaker. I mean, like, I can't think of a better time in history to be a speaker. One of the main reasons is this. If we think about all of the opportunities, everybody's producing content, everybody has a podcast, everybody has a YouTube channel, everybody has something. And unless they're an expert, so there's basically 3 roles that you find content creators what they fit in. One is the evangelist. They're evangelizing their topic. So if it was Kyle, Kyle would be on YouTube talking about HR, right? So he's the evangelist of his own topic. John is the evangelist for um, mind mapping, right? So that's one personality. The other personality is the reporter. This is the person that's like on the news. The news doesn't have anything of their own. They report on other people's stuff, right? So they didn't do anything cool. They just tell you the cool stuff that's happening. And every once in a while, they bring a personality on to share the cool stuff that they did, right? And then the other personality is more of the documentarian, where they're not bringing anyone on, they're not sharing their point of view, they're just documenting what other people have done. Does that make sense? And that's kind of like the newspaper approach, right? But in all of those, you can participate, right? The only one that would kind of give you a little bit of flack back is going on a competitor's podcast that's an evangelist, because they may not want the competing point of view. But you can go on an evangelist podcast if what you talk about is adjacent to what they do. So one of my friends, his name is Sean Fair, and Sean is one of the best people when it comes to speaker packaging. He can get you on stage, get you the photos, get you the media interviews, and get it all recorded and make you look great, right? I don't even try to do that stuff, but I can get the gig. So while he's evangelizing about all of the media outlets and all the different packaging that he can get you in, you need someone, you need to send that speaker reel to somebody. You need someone to visit that website. So I work adjacent to him. We're not competing because I get the gigs. He gets you the material that you need to send to get the gig. So you can still be a partner with an evangelist. Does that make sense? Someone who has their own point of view, and just partner with them. And then now you're doing audience exchanges or list swaps. I'll send you to my folks. You send me to your folks. We work, or we'll put on an event together. Does that make sense? So, that's one of the cool things. We're a great example of that. I always talk about getting booked, but we put on a summit that brings 30 other speakers to come and talk about their stuff and how it aligns with what our mission is. Does that make sense? Now, why is this important? The speaker who's looking to get paid to show up is absent in all of these opportunities because they want to be paid to show up. The person on YouTube ain't paying you to come on their YouTube channel. They're just not, right? Like, why would I pay you to come talk about this stuff? I can just talk about it myself, right? Or, so the speaker who's looking to get paid to show up misses all of these opportunities. Now, here's the cool thing. I just talked about how those opportunities are manifested on video, on YouTube, or in media. But those same people do real life events. When you go to the NFL, to a Super Bowl, they got the media there. Right? They got media row. When you go to a conference, the local radio station will be broadcasting live at the St. Louis car show. Right? They'll have an on-spot reporter at the St. Louis car show. So understanding that if you're trying to get paid to show up, you're going to have less exposure than the person who understands the value or understands that money isn't the only way to get paid. You can get paid in exposure. The number one most coveted speaking opportunity in the world is called what? TED Talk. And they don't pay nothing for TED Talks. Most people are illegally selling TED Talks, right? You're not supposed to sell the TED Talk opportunity, but a lot of people illegally will sell you a TED Talk for their event, right? But it's a free event. It's not I'm going to pay you to come speak at my TED event. It's you can speak for free, or you can pay me under the table to guarantee you get to speak for free, right? So that's how we think about it, where that person is saying, no, I only get paid to talk. But when you offer them a TED experience, all of a sudden they don't care about the money. They want the exposure on the TED.com YouTube channel. They want the ability to put that TED logo as a certification that I'm Kyle Smith, TED speaker, TEDx speaker on blah, 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 with 50,000 views or whatever they say, right? We see it all the time on LinkedIn. Right? So the way that we get paid isn't always going to be a check up front. Does that make sense? I may get the exposure. I may be able to grab clients out of the audience. Right? So you would miss all of those opportunities by putting a paywall up in front of you. Now, let me give you a better example of this. How many of y'all have websites? Right? How many of y'all charge people to visit your website? Sounds goofy, right? But that's how they try you out. And they decide if they want to pay you once they've visited the website. You're just a live, walking, talking website. So why are you putting a paywall up in front of who you are, which is preventing people from trying you out and then deciding to take the next step? I can't imagine Kyle asking me to pay for a sales appointment for HR Kyle to help us to organize. I'm like, hey, Kyle, I need some help with this. Can you help Ange with the organizing of our team? I can't imagine him saying, yeah, give me $500 and I'll do an evaluation. Bro, all right, cool. Next. Because I'm gonna go to the person who's willing to at least understand the problem for free. He doesn't have to give me any advice, but he should probably understand my problem for free. And then charge me for the implementation or the advice that he will give me on the backside. That's what we do on our website. You can go to speakerhub.com for free and look around. But when it's time to implement, you got to come to the meeting. You got to fill out the application. Tell us a little bit more about you, right? Because we want to make sure we can really provide you what you're expecting. Is that fair? Does this make sense? So, as speakers, we have to be careful of this paywall that we put up because it prevents people from accessing, right? As guys, we've all been to the bar and you see someone that's attractive. You go over, you talk to them, they don't want to talk to you. But you buy them a drink, all of a sudden you got about 2 minutes. You got 2 minutes before her friends show up. And if you don't buy the friend a drink too, they both walking away, right? So as guys, we understand that paywall can either be an advantage if it's a highly coveted, opportunity. But if it's not, it's like, no, I'm just going to talk to somebody that doesn't want to charge me to talk to them. Does that make sense? I've done it a lot of times. You going to buy me a drink? Psh, nope. I'd rather talk to your friend. I'd rather just talk to your friend who don't want a drink, who already got a drink. So that became my thing. Go to the bar and talk to the women that already got a drink in front of them. They don't want to look like a glutton, walk around double fisted. So just talk to the one who already got a drink. And then wait till that one that you really wanted to talk to, wait till she get a drink.
What if she downs it real quick, man? You gonna just walk away?
Huh?
What if she just kills it real fast? You just walk away?
Hey man, look, what am I supposed to do? If I'm gonna buy her a beer. If she chugged that beer, she gonna be belching in every other guy's face for the rest of the night. So that's how that's gonna work. But you get what I mean by why are we putting up paywall as speakers when we have the knowledge and the experience that we want to share? A great example from a sports analogy standpoint, imagine LeBron James at 7 years old saying, I'm only going to play basketball when they pay me. He would never be LeBron James because he would have never practiced, right? He would have never, gotten any of the medals or the pats on the back or any of the offers to college or any of those things if he only decided to play when he was going to get paid. As speakers, we got to get on more stages. That's our thing. We got to get better at speaking. I'll tell you something. At the beginning, we ain't that good. You know that? You ain't as good as you think you are. ChatGPT will give you a score. The great thing about it is that ChatGPT can give you a score and let you get better in private. The people in the audience will give you a score and never tell you. But they will tell everyone else how terrible you were. Man, that dude was talking too much. Dude, that dude, long-winded. Man, this was like a lecture. Good Lord, I thought this was going to be something different. They'll never give you the feedback, but they'll also never invite you back. Does that make sense? So here's the cool thing. This is the cool thing about it. If you can remove the paywall and shift who pays you, your speaking fee becomes unlimited. If you can remove the paywall and shift who pays you, the speaking fee becomes unlimited. Kyle, what do you charge for one of your services?
Well, it's anywhere from $500 to $1,000 for
Okay.
a typical speech or talk.
No. I'm talking about HR Kyle.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's, it really depends. That could be upwards of $10,000, $20,000 depending on the project.
Yep. So would you rather get paid $1,000 up front without the ability to talk about HR Kyle, or would you rather go in and speak for free and demonstrate your true value and allow the marketplace to pay you?
Yeah. No, exactly. I want the marketplace to pay me. I want this to be perpetual.
Exactly. Because you may get a $20,000 client out of there and they stay with you for 4 years. Now that's $80,000. But you know how the only way you can get that, guys? If you actually believe that you're as good as you say you are. Because if you don't think you could actually make the sales or people want to buy your product, it's easy to undervalue and say, just give me the 1,000 up front. Now, let me give you a basic analogy. And AJ and I, we've played this game with a bunch of our friends. You got a choice. We offer you $1 million up front or a flip of a coin for $1 billion. $1 million upfront cash right now, or the flip of a coin for $1 billion. Now, there's no wrong answer, but I want to know how you all view this. So, John, you're the first person to the right. Actually, Ange, let's start with you. You're to my left here. What would you take, the $1 million up front or the flip of a coin for $1 billion?
I'll take $1 million up front.
Okay. So, can you keep score, Ange? I want to see who has what. John, $1 million up front or a flip of a coin for $1 billion?
$1 million up front.
Okay. AJ, which one? I can't hear you. You muted.
$1 million up front.
Okay. Kyle.
Yep. Got to go with the $1 million up front.
All right. Bart.
Maybe up front.
Jasmine.
Flip for $1 billion.
Flip for $1 billion. Okay. All right. Lynette.
I'll take the $1 million.
Okay. Cardis.
Let me understand the question right.
I like to be outnumbered.
You're giving me a 50-50 chance to get $1 billion, right?
50-50 chance to get $1 billion or a guaranteed $1 million.
Yeah, I gotta take the 50-50 chance. I don't have the good odds anywhere else.
Okay. All right. Cool. Say Ron. Say Ron may be at work, so she may not be able to answer. Kevin.
I'm taking $1 million up front. That's life changing.
Okay. Chantel.
I'm taking my chance with the coin.
Okay. So we got so far Jasmine, Cardis, and Chantel on the coin. Ann, where are you in the world today? Is this really Ann or is this her assistant? Okay, that's the fake Ann McNeil. All right. So what's the tally?
Coin toss. Coin toss.
Coin toss. Okay. All right. So I think we got 4 coin tosses. And how many millions up front?
7.
7, right? So I love this game because there's no wrong answer. It's everyone's tolerance for risk, right? So who do you believe in more than yourself and your own abilities?
God.
A lot of times it's
God.
easy. Yeah, I mean, but let's be real, right? When I was a kid, I believed in my mom more than me. Because to me, she was Superwoman, right? I believed in my uncles more than me. They were bigger than me. They were older than me. They had better, it was like, no, I believe in him. Like, we naturally defer to other people if we believe that they're better than us. Does that make sense? So I want to get into the analogy, but then I'll tell you why I like to ask this. When I think about that question, my first question was to myself was, what's the probability of me making $1 million sometime in the rest of my life? And what's the probability of me making $1 billion sometime in the rest of my life? Now, the probability of me making $1 million is pretty high, right? Like if I just keep working and I save for the next 20 years, $50,000 a year, I could save $1 million. But to have the probability of me making $1 billion, it ain't 50%. Right? Like it's just not 50%. So if I'm presented with that opportunity, I would take it. Right? Now, different people are in different places. When I think of the speakers who always want to get paid up front and never sell from the stage, is because they have a probability of making $0 from the stage because they don't have any products to sell. So they don't have the probability of making more than whatever's offered to them up front. I know because I work with them. They ain't got no other products to sell. So they're like, nah, the probability of me making this $35,000 they're about to give me, but I don't have any products to sell from the stage anyway. I don't have any consulting. All I do is motivate and inspire. I don't have a product around that. I need my 35 up front. But they put in the work to be worthy of that $35,000. But for some of us, we're not that well known as a speaker. So we got to make a decision on how we're going to get paid. I can be undervalued. Now, I know I can provide value if I'm on the stage. But the event planner may not believe in me as much as I believe in me. The event planner may not believe in what I'm able to do or may not know my history of being able to help people with their business. So she's like, oh, we'll give you $500. Cool. I'm cool with that, but I'm going to negotiate. Can I also present my product so I can get what I'm worth? Does that make sense? Because if I can get what I'm worth, I'll take any gig. I'll actually pay you for the gig if I can go get what I need out of the audience.
Are most people receptive to that, Ron?
Receptive to what?
To allowing you to speak from the stage if they're not going to pay you up front?
Of course. That's every gig I've done has been that way.
Got it.
Right? Every gig I've done has been that way. I spoke at NSA's conference this year. I paid for that stage. I didn't get paid up front. I wrote a check for that stage. There's nothing that qualifies me to open for Les Brown in his Lifetime Achievement Award. Nothing that qualifies me as a speaker to do that. I was so nervous about it, I didn't even want to do it. I brought somebody else to do the speech for me. I literally did. I brought Kim Coles. I'm like, Kim, come talk. You better at this than me. I'll pay for your flight. I'll get you to come in, whatever you and your husband need. Y'all want to stay in Denver for a month? I'll cover it all. Just come. And she said, Ron, relax. I'll do it. All right? Now, but that's what's available out here if you remove the paywall of pay me to do this. Now, what do we get from that? We got 250 trials of Speaker Hub. I got great relationships with Ann McNeil, Lethea Owens, a bunch of other folks, Les Brown, a bunch of other folks and speakers that I never would have had those relationships with because I wouldn't have went to the conference. Because I had to fly 17 hours from Medellin up to Denver to do it. But that would, if I only count that I got paid up what I would have gotten paid up front, hundreds of thousands of dollars of relationships don't exist. Is this fair? So the question is, what bet are you taking on yourself? If you know that the probability of you getting paid from selling from the stage is low, take the money up front. Right? No sé, no está acá. Okay. Hasta luego. She was looking for her Baka Lola
Beautiful.
cow teddy bear. I'm like, it's not in here, you know. I got a floor full of Play-Doh though. All this daggone Play-Doh on my floor over here. So she was making grapes using purple Play-Doh this morning. So, but moral of the story is if you aren't confident that you should flip the coin on yourself, get paid up front. But only until you're confident that you can get paid more on your own. Does that make sense? Is that fair? Right? So here's one of the ways to ensure that you can always get paid what you're worth. Now, I remember when I first started as a financial advisor, a guy named Phil Sarnacki, he said, Ron, the marketplace is a reflection of your value. And I'm like, what? My mama told me I could be whatever I want to be. How you going to tell me I ain't? And I'm like, what do you mean? He was like, the marketplace is a reflection of the value that you bring to it. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? He was like, well, if you had a job, if they paid you, this was in 2000, if they paid you $60,000 at that job, that means that you were providing at least $60,000 to that company, but usually 3 to 4 times that, because they got to pay your taxes, your benefits, and all the equipment and the lease and everything for you to operate inside of that company. And I was like, oh, okay, I didn't think of it from that perspective. Nobody is getting paid more than their value. Even the NFL players like, man, that dude is overrated. Nah, he negotiated. So you don't get paid what you're worth. You get paid what you negotiate. Is that fair? You don't get paid what you're worth. You get paid what you negotiate. So even if someone says, yo, Ron, we only got $1,000 for you to come speak. What's my job as a speaker to do?
Negotiate.
Negotiate, right? And what are the things I can negotiate, John?
Being able to sell from the stage.
Yeah, I can negotiate the price, right? I can try to push the price up, and I can try to get a table in the back.
Mhm.
I could, ask for 30 seconds to mention my product during the speech. Say, hey, look, I'm not going to do a full, this ain't going to be an infomercial, but can I mention and invite people if they want to work with me from the conversation? I can negotiate a lot of different things. Can you send out an email for me? I'll come do it, but can you send out an email where I can do a pre-speech webinar or a series of webinars down the road? Right? Do you see what I mean? You can negotiate whatever you need to get the value out of the value that you're providing if the person doesn't have the money up front. Right? Sometimes people don't have the money up front, but they got an email list. Right? So one of the things at the Pro Speaker Summit with all of our speakers, we don't pay them up front, but we give them the names and emails addresses of everyone who attends their segment. Now, what does that do? Makes them want to tell more people to come attend their segment. Because there's no other way for them to get the email addresses unless they attend. So some people had 50 people attend their session. Some people had 400 people attend their session. I looked at it. Well, the people who had more folks told more people about it. Or they worked on their title so that their title was interesting. Does this make sense? So this is what we have to get better at as business people. Why? Because how many of y'all like making TikToks? Exactly. So the best alternative to TikToks is this thing, your voice, getting on a podcast. Let them do the editing and turn it into Instagram Reels or TikToks. Getting on stages. Get up there and give your talk, have someone record it and turn it into TikToks. Do you see what I mean? Turn it into Instagram Reels, LinkedIn post. But you are the best marketer of your product. Nobody can do it for you. When someone hits me up and they say, hey, I'm a great speaker. If you get me booked, I'll give you some of it. I don't care that much. Like, I just don't care that much. I don't care that much to make you money. Right? Because what you're saying is, hey, go find someone, hit them over the head, shake all the money out of their pocket, collect all the money, bring it back to me, and I'm going to give you your part. No, I'm going to just keep the money. I'm from East St. Louis. I ain't robbing nobody for somebody else. If I rob somebody, it's me. Right? I'm robbing them for me. It ain't for somebody else. Right? So when we think of that, and even that mindset shows the level of disrespect that you have for the person that you even propose that to. I'm so much better than you that for my $2,000 speech, I bet you're so poor that you're willing to go work for $400. What if I really had that talent? Why would I do it for someone with such a low speaking fee? I'm serious. Like, why wouldn't I just go do it for? That's when I hear people say, "Oh man, I'm the best at this," and I'm like, "Well, who's your clients?" I had a guy send me an email, and this is a diversion, but I'll ask some questions in a second. I had a guy send me an email, and what he said is, "I could triple your monthly recurring revenue in your company in 90 days, guaranteed." My first thought is, you don't even know what we make on a monthly basis. So that's fool's gold. Only a fool would go for that. My second thing is, if you really could do this, why didn't you call Amazon or Salesforce? Because if you could triple somebody's revenue in 90 days, you should go after the biggest whales out there. Go after the biggest fish, right? So we're making the change away from the speakers who want to get paid up front because they're the ones we can help the least. They want us to call all 4 million people in our database and ask, what y'all paying? So we ain't doing that. Go give the gig. If you're as good as you say you are, go get the gig. Show up and extract the money out of the environment yourself, right? So let's talk about that for 1 second, and I'll tell you why this happened. Airbnb destroyed the speaking industry. Look at all y'all faces. Everybody, what? What does Airbnb got to do with speaking? Lynette, I saw Lynette, they were like synchronized swimmers. Lynette and Kyle and Jasmine looked up like, what does Airbnb have to do with speaking, right? Anybody want to take a guess? Lynette, how do you think Airbnb destroyed the speaking industry?
I don't know.
Okay. Jenny, how do you think Airbnb destroyed the speaking industry?
Absolutely no idea.
Okay. Well, Jasmine, how do you think it destroyed the speaking industry?
I believe Airbnb, people are, Airbnb is taking over where the hotels are for the larger audiences. And, I think there's a little thing to that between the hotels and the speakers and all that, right? I don't know.
Okay. That's a really good guess, really analytical guess. Here's what happened. As Jasmine mentioned, who is Airbnb? Who did they hurt the most when they started allowing you to rent rooms at their house? The hotels. So the hotel's main customer was lost. A lot of hotels shut down. If they weren't conference centers, they shut down. So a lot of hotels, they started building conference rooms and ballrooms you go to a Holiday Inn, what is it called? Fairfield. They got a ballroom now, right? Like all of these different hotels added ballrooms because they needed a conference center, even if it wasn't a big place like the Gaylord. They needed a conference center so that they could say, or a family reunion center, because you can't hold a conference for 80 people at an Airbnb. They got 5 bedrooms. And you can't do it with, we're going to put you in this Airbnb. We're going to get all the houses on the block. That ain't how Airbnb worked. So they said, well, hey, our main opportunity is these large groups. So now a gallon of coffee costs $100 at a conference. To rent a 6-spigot electrical outlet so you can plug in 6 things, it's $45. Like I got the riders for a lot of these hotels. So I could go buy 6 of those from Walmart for $45. Right? So they've raised the cost and the conference, because you can't hold a conference at Airbnb. Now, what are the people at the conference going to do? Hey, you should reserve your rooms here. Right? So everybody should stay at this hotel. I went to Influence. It was $2,500 per ticket. The Gaylord was $499 a night before tax. It's a 6-day conference. I'm out of $5,000 before I ever leave my house. And then I got Edge. So we don't stay in the same room. Got to get her flight, her ticket. And my sister came. And then I had Kim, right? So I'm out of 20 grand before I even leave the house. Why? Because we didn't want to stay all the time. I guess we right here. Here we go, right? So what did that do to the conference provider? And I'm not picking on NSA. I just use them because it's easy and we're speakers. But this happens with every other conference. I could use all the other conferences. They're dealing with the same thing. ClickFunnels did their last funnel hacking live this year. Traffic Sales and Profit did their last conference this year. All of these big conferences. Path to Prosperity did one. Marvin did one conference. The first year was huge. The second year was small. The third year didn't exist. So, what was it called? Social Proof. Him 500. Huge conference in Vegas. Year number 2 was smaller. Year number 3 didn't exist. Why? Because it costs too much for people to attend. So what happened with the speakers? How does this affect speakers? The event planners who used to pay keynotes stop paying the keynote, and they'll get a entertainer, and then they'll sell the sponsorships of the speaking opportunities. When you look at any event that you go to, look at how many stages on the agenda are sponsored by this company, or sponsored by this, or that used to be a speaker that would get paid to deliver that message. Does that make sense? It ain't getting better, guys. Why? Because the speakers like me are saying, not only would I speak for free, I'll pay you to take that time. No, why? Because I have confidence that I could flip that coin on myself and go in and pull my money back out of the audience. Does that make sense? But if I don't have that, I'm willing to bet on myself, I can't complain. I can't complain about me not getting speaking gigs and I'm losing them to John, because John is willing to do something I wasn't willing to do to get that stage. Is that fair? So what does this mean? It means, and I'll get to you in 1 second, Adrian. It means that we can't just be speakers. We have to be business owners. And business owners understand that just like being on the radio or running a television ad or passing out flyers, speaking is just another marketing channel. But it's the best. How many of y'all ever been on a 30-second podcast? Nah. Ain't no such thing as a 30-second podcast, right? So that means this person gets to engage with you for at least 20 minutes, sometimes an hour and a half. So by the time they come to you, you ain't got to sell them. You just really taking orders because they've already been sold if you did your job during that call, right? We get people on here all the time. I know if you come back twice, you buying. Everybody on here, they came back twice, they bought from us. That's how it works. I understand that if you come listen to me for 45 minutes and you ain't convinced you can make more money than what you were making before as a speaker, high five, see you later. But I believe in myself. So I do these 3 times a day to make sure that we can bring people in and show them what making money as a speaker looks and feels like, to show them what getting on a stage looks and feels like, so they can see other people. They can see John. They can see Bart working in the background. They can see Jasmine. They can talk with Kevin, right? They can see the commitment of Ann with 3 staff people that join the call to do the work while she's traveling. That's how committed she is to getting booked more. Chantel, been on 18 TV shows and 99 podcasts in the last 2 weekends, right? You can see the results. It's hard. You can argue with my ideas, but you can't argue with the fruit. So that's what we're going to show you. That's what we're about. Is this fair? How do you all do the same thing? How do you go live once a day? Even if it's only 2 people. Help those 2 people. Why? Because those become your first 2 testimonials. A lot of people believe you. They like you. They think you're trustworthy. They just don't know if you can do what you say you can do. Anybody ever been screwed over before? Ever bought something that didn't work the way you thought it was going to work? And then you try to take it back and they be like, no, you opened it. You can't bring it back. You like, yo, bro, this cheese is molded. What do you mean I can't bring it back? Right? How many of y'all like that feeling? Nobody. But yet, that's what we do to people sometimes. People order pepperoni pizza from us. We deliver French onion soup, and then we say, well, it's your fault you didn't like this style. No. I didn't order French onion soup, bro. I ordered pepperoni pizza. So all I'm saying is by removing that barrier and giving away the samples like they do at Panda Express and Jake's Philly cheesesteaks. They give you, they slice it up at Costco. You get a little hot. You go into Costco for soap and you walk out with 130 pack of Beanie Weenies. All because that lady gave you that little bit in the cup. You're like, I should have never tasted this crap. Now I got 85 hash browns. Anyway, I can't even fit this damn box in the freezer. But it's all because they removed the paywall and they cooked it for you. But yet we want to say, nah. Nah, you don't get to try us out. Pay us up front. You want to try this. And ain't no refunds. Yeah, okay. You're gonna lose. Because all my folks, we building an army of speakers. Here's my goal. And I've said this very clearly. My goal is to push speaking fees down to 0 in the next 5 years. That is the mission of Speaker Hub. The haters can hate me, but the winners are going to win. Because there ain't enough stages. And there are a lot of terrible people who get paid up front that don't deliver value at all. So I don't think they should be paid. I think you should be paid what you are worth. Unless you're doing corporate where they won't let you pitch from the stage because you're doing a corporate gig where they're going to pay you to come in and not sell your product because they're your client. They already bought your product by buying you. I think the speaking gig should be free. Why? Because I'm better than a lot of folks. They get paid early. And I watch they talk to me like, this dude's trash. But they know me. So it's my fault. Can't blame him. I got a crusade now. AJ, what's up?
So I came from the hospitality industry with event planners. And even so I went through the Airbnb change. Back in the day, hotels would actually give us the banquet halls for free for putting our rooms there. So once Airbnb took over, they stopped giving us the rooms for free. They stopped giving us kickback on the rooms. Like it was, I mean, and we had over it was like a $1.8 million budget for speakers that we would do every year. And every year from 2015 to 2018, that went down by like 30%, just because the hotels stopped giving us all the amenities that they would before Airbnb started taking over. So they have to make the company started having to make money somewhere else because like I seen it, I lived through it. I watched speakers not be able to get paid because we had to start paying the hotel.
Yeah, no, it's high five. I'm glad you brought that up, right? But these are the perspectives that we provide in the community. When you all see what the new version of Speaker Hub looks like with the community where everybody's together, it is incredible. So imagine being able to have these conversations 24 hours a day where you can just make a post. Hey, what are they doing for this? What have you experienced with this? And then our 64,000 speakers, whoever want to comment, can go in and comment on that, can give you perspective, can meet with you privately about it. That's what we're launching in April. It's already built. It's incredible. Why? Because somebody needs to know what AJ knows, right? There's an HR thing that I have a question about that I should be able to ask Kyle without having to Google. I got somebody in my community already does it. I could ask the 5 people and pick the one that provides me with the best service and the best answer. You see how the market is going to determine? It ain't no guarantee because Kyle is here that we will do business with them, but it is more highly likely. Does that make sense? So, Jasmine, what's your comment?
Just wanted to go back to the point, where people expect, things. Anytime I've ever paid anyone money to take a shortcut, I always get burned. So when someone coming to you and says, you know what, give me that much and I'll make you get this much and this much and this much and this much, I'd rather somebody try to educate me, sit down and say, this is going to be the road that we have to take. It's not going to be fast. It's not going to be easy. But at the end, you're going to come out as a better person, like you're doing right now. We're on here, we're all speakers and want to get paid. I mean, it's not my MO to say there's someone you want to get paid. It's usually the opposite for me. That somebody, says, well, if you want pay, you can get paid, stuff like that. But I'm not going to preface because I'm passionate about what I do. So I'll do it for free on the street corner. So if someone invites me as a guest on their podcast, I'm going to give that podcast, that host, way more than they expect of me. And that's why most of my podcast hosts are asking me for a point, can we do a part 2 on this? This 45 minutes or this hour went too fast. So here, you're hard on, when I say hard on, but you're given tough love because iron sharpens iron. So you're given tough love to say, we're here. This is what it is. This is tough love. Don't sit here and think you're going to come on and, the first person who invites you, you get paid and then you bugger off. Let them go because you're going to develop a team of hardcore business leaders. Then the people out there are going to wonder, why those people from Speaker Hub, getting this and getting that and getting that. So I always keep in my head anything that is tough for me. 2 things I do. Don't jump to taking shortcuts, and iron sharpens iron.
100%.
It's all
I agree with you. So here's the thing. It's not, and the part of it is, this is just the reality of the industry. Like, I'm just stating the facts, right? There's one of my favorite rap lyrics is, this is just the facts, while all the liars out there adjust the facts, right? I just give you just the facts. Everybody else adjusted the facts for their, they ain't got time for that. I'm just going to tell you what it is so that you can be better prepared and more effective in the marketplace. Is that fair? Right? Because I think you all are worth more than $2,000 a gig. I'm not saying a person shouldn't get paid up front. Don't walk away with that. What I'm saying is that there's so much more on the other side. There's so much more to be made. Guess what it does to your own self-worth and character to know that, yo, this is the value I provided today, and I can actually count it. You see what I mean? Like, that is a magical thing when you walk into a room and you get more than just good job. No, hey, good job. I can't wait to work with you. I can't wait to work with you. Good man, dude, this is exciting. I need what you got. Lynette, I need to be on your thing. I need to understand how women can be better business owners or build bigger businesses, right? Like, that's the difference when they want your coaching. Not, oh, that was cute. I don't need that. Right? I don't need the, oh, he too nice. Every guy's heard that. Oh, he too nice. No, I don't want to be too nice. I don't want to be too nice, right? So, any questions about this topic and why we're going in this direction? Jenny, I don't know what your speaking fee is, but I promise you, you're worth more. I promise you. Even if it's $10,000, there's more on the table. There's more on the table. Why? Because now you can go anywhere. Someone says, hey, I got a Facebook Live. You want to come on? Yep. Hey, I got a room full of referrals. I got 5 people in the room that would love to talk to you about. Yep, I'm coming because I know I can get something out that room. If I'm available, I ain't getting paid nothing. if I ain't doing nothing at the time that event is happening anyway, I may as well go and try to make some money. Right? Jenny, have you introduced yourself before? You been here before?
Yes, but I was obviously not very memorable.
I'm sorry. I do 3 of these a day. I apologize. You want to tell us what you do again?
So I'm actually really new to speaking. I have taken a while to get my bio sorted, and have kind of decided on the angle that I am going to do now, and on the big screen, which is even worse. I'm just really right at the beginning. I have done some things on DEI. I run a film festival. I'm particularly passionate about looking at what I call the ordinary edge, which is helping people to not so much focus on chasing the extraordinary, but understanding that it's the ordinary moments that lay the foundation for the extraordinary to happen. So that's kind of where I've landed so far. But thinking now about what everything you just said, I'm thinking about some of the other actual products that I have that might lend to a slightly different speaking focus. So I'm right at the beginning. Yeah.
Guess what? Everybody started in the same place. All of us started at the same place. And we're all just trying to get better. We're just getting better together, right? So here's one of the things I will ask everyone, right? And I learned this from his last name is Houston. Drew Houston. He's the founder of Airbnb. And he said this is what they did. They said, okay, what is a 1-star experience? And let's do this as an example. Jenny, let's help you, right? You volunteer, or should I pick someone else?
Go on, I might as well.
Okay, all right. So let's bring Jenny up. Right? So if someone works with you, what's the outcome that you can take them to? What can you help someone to do?
So it depends on the group of people. There are kind of 3 different target audiences, but in general, it's about developing sustainable leadership and sustainable success. It's about, sorry, these are buzzwords, but this is as far as I am. It's about being able to manage changes, so it's effective change management. It's about effective team leadership, and it's really having a fresh perspective on what leadership and success looks like, so that people can create a more lasting impact.
Okay.
You put me on the spot.
You help to make better leaders.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So if we're gonna,
and teams.
Okay. Yep. Leaders and teams, because if they don't have a team, they're not a leader, right?
Yeah. Right.
So we help to make better leaders. Okay.
Yeah.
What would be a 1-star experience if someone worked with you? Out of 1 star, we give her 1 star.
1 star would be me standing up there and giving them all the kind of platitudes that everyone's heard before, and that make absolutely no difference to how they work and what results they have.
Okay. What would be a 2-star experience?
2-star would be, well, it was fun, and she was funny, and it was a fun 45 minutes. Not really going to change the things I do, but it was fun.
Okay. 3-star.
3-star would be, it was inspiring, and I've definitely got some takeaways that I'm going to have to think about that might make a difference.
Okay. 4-star.
4-star is, this was really good. I can absolutely see how it applies to my team, and there are things that I have to change. I already see the impact it's going to have, and I'm assuming it's just a talk rather than the full implementation. And my team is really excited, and that there's been a shift in perspective that I know is already making a difference.
Okay. And this is just them working with you, regardless of whether it's a talk, a workshop, or whatever. Make sense? 5-star experience.
5-star is, wow. It's not only has there been a shift in perspective, but there's been a shift in the culture, and it's happened quickly. And the results have been far bigger than I expected, even far bigger than I knew to expect. It's helped us to focus on simple, ordinary things that have had monumental change. And we still don't understand how it happened, but we know that it works.
Okay. 6-star.
Oh, is a 6-star as in Wait, I was doing 1 to 5. This is 1 to 10.
Just keep going. We're at 6.
6-star is kind of from the moment she walked into the room, things started changing. It's 6-star is there's that intangible presence that you bring, and everything you say is incredible, but there is something that we can't put our finger on. It's all the other incredible things that have happened before, but it's knowing I can call you for 5 minutes with a really intractable problem and find a solution.
Okay. 7.
7-star is not only am I excited, and not only has my leadership style changed and my team has changed, but our clients are now impacted, and our clients are changing their perspective, the way they do things with us and the way they do things generally. So that there's a bigger, there's a whole ethos that's changing in the industry simply because of working with you.
8.
8 is, unbeknownst to us, there was a hidden treasure of phenomenal amounts of wealth that was available to us that we did not know. But uncovering this and working with each other, with our teams, with our clients, and having that whole industry shift, there's this monumental kind of wealth transfer that has happened that we didn't know about.
9.
I actually thought of 9, or I was thinking of 8, but I don't remember it now. So 9 is that there's been such a big shift in our business that we're now affecting ordinary everyday culture. So we're having not just a shift in the work, an impact in the actual work that we do, but our nation, our world's culture has been changed as a result of the way we do things and how we do things.
Okay. And 10.
10 would be 10 would be that we have not just caused, and I don't know if anyway, 10 would be that we've not, I don't know if this answers the right one, but anyway, 10 would be,
this is your business. These are,
yes, I know.
There's no
it would be
answers.
Not just that we've caused a shift in thinking culturally, but there's been a paradigm shift that marks a change in us doing things better, more effectively, more productively, that lasts for generations, things that will be written about and studied for generations to come.
Yep. Perfect. Right. Now, why did I do that? That was incredible. Let me tell you the difference. Up until 5, she gave us transactional things. 5 and above were transformational things. It was bigger than her at that point. A lot of us are still busy selling transactions. We're not selling the transformation. Why? Because we limit ourselves in how we think about it. If I didn't ask what was a 6-star, the most effort she would have ever put in would have been a 5-star level. But she had so much more that she dreamed about, but had never quantified how to deliver it. Right? So when you think about Airbnb, 1-star. Man, I went there, the house was dirty, all of these things was everywhere, and they didn't have any sheets on the bed, and it was in the hood, and it was bananas, right? 2-star. Well, okay, it had clean sheets, but they didn't give us enough towels. 3-star. They gave us enough towels, but it smelled funny, right? 4-star. It was great. Everything was good, but there was noise at night, right? 5-star. Everything was at least up to my standard. 6-star. When I got there, they picked me up from the hotel. They had a tour guide, and there was a chef at the house. 7-star. Not only was there a chef, there was a tour guide. The house was bigger than expected. They didn't even mention that they had a pool, right? 8-star. I don't know if I counted right. I may be an 8, right? 8-star. They flew to pick me up on a private jet. I landed not at the airport, but I didn't know that this house was in a airplane community where everybody had a hangar and they had their own private landing strip. Well, we just landed straight in and pulled up to the hangar that was attached to the house. And they had the chef. They had all these other things. 10-star. They flew me back home too, right? And they had a photographer that was around that we didn't even notice, even though he was there. They gave us this video of all the memories of all the cool things that we did. Do you see what I mean? We're only limited by our imaginations, but we lose because we just do what other people are doing. We could do those other things, but you know what we do? We believe if I flip that coin, nobody's willing to pay for that. Right? I'm willing to do all this extra stuff, but nobody's willing to pay for it. Ron, you go live every day, man. I sell my lives. Yeah, you're going to lose to me. I'm looking for a certain person that's going to come and do these things that we do. Is this making sense? Right? Because it's that. Now, should you do 10-star? Only if you want to. But the magic lies somewhere between 6 and 8. That's where you can't be commoditized. Right? Where you gotta, I don't know what it was. You know what she said? It's something, I couldn't put my finger on it, but it was right. Something was right from the beginning. Right? On here, I don't teach nothing new. I just care a little bit more. My magic is giving a fuck. That's my magic formula. I just care more than all the rest of the coaches that's trying to make you pay $1 million for nothing. Sometimes that's all you need. It's a lonely business, guys. We all speakers at home by ourselves. Ain't got nobody pat us on the back. Our families don't understand what we're doing. They think we crazy for leaving our jobs. They think the business should be growing faster because I'm HR Kyle. They think I'm a millionaire, but they don't know that me and my wife just trying to make this thing go. That's an assumption, but I'm just saying, right? So I'm like, yo, I got to be this dude that I needed. I needed somebody to tell me the truth. Ron, get to work. Ron, you ain't working hard enough. Ron, you can do more than that. Ron, you want to be different. Don't do what the other folks are doing. Look at what they're doing and say, how could I do that better? Does that make sense? So that's how you wow people from the stage. You give them something they've never heard or seen before. It makes them say, wait, tell me more about that. You know the craziest thing ever? Tell you the moment that Michael Jordan became a legend. You want me to show you when? I'm going to show y'all when Michael Jordan became a legend. This is the moment. This is when he would never be the same. Right? This is when he would never be the same ever again. Let me zoom in. Right? So these are the ones. Everybody know the Air Jordan ones. I got to find a better picture because that one is too blurry. Find one that's better. Hopefully this one's better. Let's see. Click here on Amazon. Amazon, you got a better picture? All right. Oh, that's even worse. Come on, Reddit. All right, Reddit may have the right picture we need. All right, cool. All right. So when did Michael Jordan become a legend? Can y'all see these shoes here? This daggone thing won't let me save this image and do it on my own. Right? Jordans. All right, let me open it up here now and I can zoom in how I want. Let me show you when Michael Jordan became a legend. All right, can y'all see these? Was it here when he got banned? This is his first year in the league. He wasn't a legend yet. But what was his name? What did they call him? Air Jordan. He became a legend here when they introduced the first shoe that had air bubbles. It changed the sneaker world because for the first time, Air Jordan, man, I got this Air, I could jump higher. I remember me and my friends talking about that. They had the air bubble. I got to get the ones with the air bubble. Your shoes was trash if it didn't have air bubbles. LA Gear tried to one up them and put lights in it. Right? But that air bubble is what made Michael a legend. And that's when I knew he would. Why? Because they kept it. Next year, air bubble. Next year, air bubble. Next year, air bubble. Right? Do you all know that for these first 2 years, these were the only shoes that had the air bubble in it? It wasn't until here when Bo Jackson's came out with the other air bubbles and the Andre Agassi's. See, I'm a shoe nerd. I used to buy Sports Illustrated just to get the shoe ads out of it, and we would draw them. Now, why do I bring that up? This one little thing of going further, showing people a visual representation of what was already in these sneakers. They just hadn't opened it up and let you see that there was air inside. A lot of us haven't opened up to let people see our greatness. That's why they think we're just like any other sneaker. Right? That's why they thought the other Jordans was just like Converse. Nah, ain't got no air bubble in it. That's Michael Jordan. I saw him win the dunk contest. He got an air bubble. He's extraordinary. There's something different about these shoes. You can see through them. I remember looking through the other side, right? I remember when they got old, you take a pin. You're like, is it really air in there? And you stick the pin in it. Psst, you're like, oh, I bust the air bubble, right? That was what we did. Now, that's a normal thing. But all I'm saying is, if we don't reveal, see you later, Lynette, if we don't reveal what makes us extraordinary, if we don't think out of the box at showing people what makes us extraordinary, how can you really believe that you're betting on yourself? I hear it all the time. Ron, you speak with so much confidence about Speaker Hub. You talk about Speaker Hub in an arrogant way. It can be turning off. I had a guy who told me, man, the way you talk about speaking, it's going to be arrogant and some people ain't going to like you. Cool. You know how much he paid us? Nothing. I don't care what he got to say. I care about the people who pay us because they're the ones who matter. Right? He didn't pay me nothing. Had all the advice that I didn't ask for. Cool, man. Well, I'm this, I'm that. He only doing 3 gigs a year. Shut up. I don't care. Right? So all I'm saying is you got to be able to reveal what makes you, what gives you the confidence. See you later, Kyle. What gives you the confidence to be HR Kyle? Right? Right? Does that make sense? So that's all I'm saying. We got to show people what makes us special so that you can be willing to bet on yourself. I know I got the largest database of speaking opportunities in the world. So I can talk all the mess I want to talk because ain't nobody else got it. I know if you got enough opportunities, anybody can get booked if they send enough pitches. So I can speak with that confidence. There's a level of confidence that Jenny will have if she doesn't feel like her product is commoditized. Because what we do, we look at our competition. Well, they're better than me at this. Yeah, but they limit themselves here at 4 stars. You got 6 stars. Just tell people yours is 6 stars. One last example. We're 11 minutes into overtime. Birdie, good to see you. Good to see you, Birdie. Birdie and I met this morning. Birdie's a new speaker, wants to get paid more for the work that he's doing. So good to see you, Birdie.
Thank you. Thank you, Ron.
You want to introduce yourself to everyone?
Yes, I can just introduce. As you can see, my name is Bertie Leroux. I'm originally from South Africa, currently visiting here.
Uh-oh, I think we lost you with the internet. We may have lost you, Birdie.
And that is also the subject of my talk, so the subject of my book that I am having almost completed. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Birdie's a leadership speaker. He's in the Netherlands right now. He has years of experience and training. He does a lot of speaking gigs, but he hasn't been paid what he's worth in the marketplace. He's paid to be on a lot of stages. He's paid a lot of companies to help him to get booked, but they haven't been able to come through. And I invited him here to ask you all if what we're doing is right or if you all have had great experiences. So welcome, Bertie. Good to see you. But let me finish my last little part, and then we'll open it up for questions and showing how we do what we do. So what I want to show here is this. Rolls Royce. Right? So we look at this car here. Beautiful car, right? Incredible Rolls Royce Cullinan car. But actually, I want to show this one. Rolls Royce Ghost. Right? So this car here, this Rolls Royce Ghost, how many of y'all would love to have a car like that? Incredible, right? $400,000, right? Do y'all know who makes the Rolls Royce? Anybody know who manufactures Rolls Royce? BMW, right? So the Rolls Royce versus the BMW 7 Series, they're actually the same cars. They're the same exact cars, even have the same keys. 60% of the parts are exactly the same. But what's the difference? One cost about $90,000. The other one cost about $400,000. They both got leather seats. They both got headlights and windshield wipers and all of those things. But why is one worth $400,000, and the other one worth $100,000?
The name and the association of wealth.
Yeah, the brand. The brand. I would rather be paid nothing and go and get what I'm worth than to have somebody associate me with $1,000 for a speaking gig.
Wait, Ron, can you say that again? I missed it.
I would rather be paid nothing and being able to sell from the stage than to have somebody say, Ron came and spoke for me for $1,000. I don't want that associated with my brand. Why? Because they're going to always put me in that bucket. When somebody else asks, man, that person was great. We would love to have them come speak. What'd y'all pay for her? What'd y'all pay for Jenny? Oh, she was only $1,000. That next person ain't offering you 10. They're actually going to throw it back in your face and say, well, you did it for them for $1,000. It's better for me to do it for free than to have you think that I'm cheap. See, I can't let AJ tell me what my value is. Or Ann, or Chantel, or Jasmine, or Jenny. You have the right to believe what my value is, but I don't have the right to accept it. Does that make sense? So the only way we get paid what we're really worth is to demonstrate our worth by getting it out, as the kids say, out the mud. Go get it out the crowd. Go speak to a room of executives, prove how great you are, and Jenny, get those executives to bring you in to talk at their place. Now, let me ask you a question. Should someone who's giving you referrals pay you to accept the referrals? Should someone who's giving you referrals and introductions pay you for you to accept those referrals?
No.
Hmm?
Why should they pay me to accept the referrals?
Exactly. When you walk into that room to give that speech, what are they giving you? Hey, everybody, we have Jasmine Dennis. Jasmine is the former manager of Lennox Lewis. She's built 8 world-class fitness studios around the world. She has come up with a new framework that can help you go from woo to wow, right? And they introduce you. That is called a referral. We're telling people that they should pay us for an introduction to referrals because we don't believe that we have the skills to close the deals on those referrals. When you look at it from that perspective, it sounds really stupid, doesn't it? To say, well, pay me to introduce me to people. Get up out of here, bro. I should be charging you for these introductions to these executives that can actually hire you. Is that an epiphany? Is that a frame shift? We ain't never thought of it from that perspective. Jenny, you walk in a room with 10 executives that can bring you in to do diversity and leadership workshops. And you're telling, I need you to pay me for these introductions you're about to make. You're about to make me look good. You're about to let me get on stage. I'm gonna have on my best clothes. You got to pay me for this. Get out of here. It sounds crazy, right? But that's what we say. You know why? Because we're not performers. I paid Beyonce to perform. When I used to do concerts, I would pay Ludacris to perform. I would pay a comedian to tell jokes. They're performing. Are any of us performers? No, we're not. We're not. We're results deliverers. When someone works with Birdie, they get results. That ain't a performance. This is what he does. Well, Chris, nice to meet you. When someone works with Jenny, they're not paying for a performance. This is what Jenny does. She's going to change your company. That ain't a performance. That's a service implementation. So why we keep asking for performance fees? We going to get referrals. Refer me. Look, y'all got any speaking gigs, y'all need a speaker to speak at, and you know they want to talk about making money, buying businesses, how to, any of that stuff. I know a guy. Refer me. Cardis, does this make sense? What are your thoughts?
It definitely does. I mean,
is it a perspective shift? Because for most people, we've never looked at the speaking gig or the event planner as a referral partner. If you make that shift, you see speaking, you see the land of opportunity in speaking.
Yeah, it's more of those, one of those things of how many people can I meet instead of how many gigs do I need to make this year or whatever time constraint you put on. Because it's like, when you think about it, the more hands I touch, I don't have to take as much money from one person. I can take $1 as long as I get out to enough people. Right. So it's that mindset shift of like the 7 atomic habits or whatever, of kind of like making the value proposition more sellable. So
100%. Chris, you want to introduce yourself? Chris Sheffield. Good to see you. I don't know if we've met before. I can't see you. I don't remember names very well, but I remember faces. So if you want to introduce yourself to the group, I'm Ron Story. I'm the head of speaker booking at Speaker Hub. I'm here with Angela Lewis, who is over operations, and one of our technical marketers, Juliana. I can't say her last name, but it's Juliana. It's the only Juliana on our team. I don't think anybody's ever tried to say her last name in the 9 months she's worked with us. So, Chris, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I don't even know how I got on this page, but I'm interested in what you're saying, so I'm happy to listen. My name's Chris Sheffield from Dayton, Ohio area, and I'm a public speaker looking to get more gigs. So I guess that's why I'm here.
That's why you're here. We help speakers to get paid, right? What do you currently charge for your speaking fee?
Well, it's interesting. My public speaking is around a kind of a niche area. I'm a crime prevention trainer, and I educate people on how to be safe and secure every day and how to protect themselves. So I do a program on personal safety and security, for example, for real estate agents. This morning I did a program, and then at the end of my program, I introduced a self-defense pepper spray keychain that people have the opportunity to purchase from me at the end of the program. So I relate to what you're talking about. People refer me to come speak to their office. They don't pay me, but if I do a good job, I've had some good success in the past over the years.
High freaking five. That is what we do, right? Every other speakers bureau is focused on people who get charged or who make $25,000 per speaking gig up front. So they have to take a commission from that. Well, we don't do commission because I want people selling from the stage. Why? Because I believe that your value is usually more than what they can afford to pay you, right? So imagine if Chris, on top of the keychain, did private lessons on the weekends where he may have charged what's not being robbed worth. I've been drugged and robbed before. Woke up 3 days later. I would pay any amount of money to help lower the opportunity that would ever happen to me ever again. Right? So if someone said, hey, here's a training for $300 to show you the stupid stuff you did and that you can teach your other friends not to do, because I've had friends that have been drugged and robbed also, right? I would pay that tomorrow. In the same way that a realtor who's been attacked by an angry person or a woman who's going and showing houses by herself late at night, her and her husband would pay anything to make sure that she's as safe as possible, bigger than the keychain. Like the keychain thing would be a toss-in. They would get that with my $300 training course, right? So if you don't offer a weekend seminar on how to do karate or something, add that.
Okay. Got it.
I'm just saying, when you go into that same room, those same people, let me ask you this. How long is your training at the real estate office?
Well, I do anywhere from a 20 to 30-minute security briefing up to an hour safety seminar. And I got certified as a continuing education instructor for the state of Ohio. So I do 1 hour actual CE classes and just started doing that.
Do you teach everything you know in that 1 hour?
No, not everything.
Yep, that's your opportunity. That's your opportunity, right? You didn't teach them everything you know. You taught them everything they knew, right? So,
right.
Right. So there's an extended version of that some people are willing to take because maybe, I'm just saying, that's a whole nother world that turns a speaking gig. What do you charge for your pepper spray?
$25 for one, all the way up to a package of 6 for $100.
Okay, right. So that turns a $25 sale into a $300 sale. Right? Now, do you think out of all the people in the world, someone has sprayed themselves in the face by mistake?
Well, with our old unit years ago, we've been in the family business for 40 years. My brother invented and patented the first self-defense keychain that used to be in the little leather cases. Those people did spray themselves, but this new style we have, they can't spray themselves. We've solved that problem.
Okay, but that's one of the fears. I've been at a club where the security guard pulled out the pepper spray and sprayed the wrong people, and everybody's choking. Right?
Yeah.
We all been there before. Carter's laughing because he knows what pepper spray and mace smells like because he's been at a nightclub or a college party where somebody done got pepper sprayed or the wrong person done got pepper sprayed. Right? So that's another thing. Like, hey, I know this is the CE class, but if you want more in-depth training on what to do after you spray them, right? All I'm saying is there's a whole nother level of training, just like there's concealed and carry. I would treat it like concealed carry training because the pepper spray is just as effective of a weapon as it's just non-lethal, right? And showing someone how to not spray their kid by mistake or do something goofy, or how do you treat someone that you sprayed by mistake? Maybe a kid got into it. All of those things you're not going to cover in that hour. So I'm going to quit beating the horse, but I'm telling you, you're probably leaving another $5 to 10 grand per meeting on the table by not offering the higher level training off the stage. Got it?
Sure. Yep.
Right.
I understand.
So guys, this is what we do. I'm glad you all are here. We are going to help speakers to get paid more. Why? Because the value that's assigned to you based on your level of experience isn't the true value that you provide the marketplace. Mostly because the event planner is limited by a budget that wasn't even considering you when they said it. Let me say that again. The event planner is limited by a budget that didn't even have you in mind in your extraordinary services before they set the budget for that event. Their fiscal constraint shouldn't be a constraint on your ability to earn. Does that make sense? So this is what we do here, Chris. We believe that speakers should be using what we call the speaker flywheel that helps them to get booked for speaking gigs. We don't believe in free speech. We believe you should get paid every time you open your mouth, right? So ain't no free speech over at Speaker Hub. We want you to get paid, maybe not in all ways, but you should always get paid. So we do that by helping you to get booked on podcasts, to talk about what you do, local associations like you're already doing with the real estate agents, but also conferences. Some of the data that you and your family have on safety and prevention deserves to be on a bigger stage. Also, we can help you to get paid to write articles on similar topics for different magazines, Wall Street Journal, Business Insider, so forth and so on, right? That's what we do. You know, if you feel comfortable with the last 10 minutes, this is what we do, man. We help people to get paid for their knowledge, even if the event planner thinks it's not worth very much. Any questions before we hop off for the day? We've been here for an hour and a half. Chris, I can tell you how you got here. You got an email from us when you signed up on Speaker Hub, or you joined joined a group called Need a Speaker, Be a Speaker. And we have a link in the group that allows you to come over to this group.
Well, I actually was on your website and I hit a button with my finger and there you were.
Perfect. See, nothing happens by mistake. You know, nothing happens by mistake. The universe wanted you here, right?
Okay.
Next week, Chris gonna have a karate class. I promise you.
There you go.
And here I'm already asking him about his pepper sprays.
You are.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Jasmine?
You have one? Show it. Let's do a commercial. I got 64,000 people on Speaker Hub that would, I probably need one of these. I live in Medellin, Colombia. I will spray the hell out of somebody.
My real estate, I'm a part of still would love that.
My wife just lost her pepper spray, so I'm looking for some more pepper spray too.
Well, there you go. I'll show you one. If you got time. The Mugger Slugger is the Mugger Slugger is the most powerful self-defense pepper spray, and the reason I say that is instead of cayenne pepper like all the other pepper sprays out there, it uses a pepper called habanero, which is 10 times hotter than cayenne or red pepper.
Oh my God!
It's actually one of the
hot.
Yeah, one of the hottest peppers in the world, and we concentrate it to what's called over 2 million called Scoville heat units. So it's making it the hottest, most effective pepper spray we fill out there. And we've been in this business as a family for 40 years. Okay. And we're an education company first and a products company second. And so I'll show you a Mugger Slugger, and I don't know if you can see it. This is a Mugger Slugger right here. It's a handheld keychain device that inside this case is 15 seconds worth of the pepper spray, fires up to 12 feet, will incapacitate an attacker instantly for 30 to 45 minutes by locking their eyes shut. Their face feels like it's on fire, sinuses drain. Some of you have been through it and being exposed. We also have an ultraviolet dye in it now that marks the attacker's skin for up to 48 hours for police suspect identification. So it becomes a marked man.
Wow.
So it's a unique item. It's different than other pepper sprays, and it's the reason that we sell them mostly through an education process, because most people don't understand pepper sprays. They just buy something they see in the store, not knowing there's a difference. And that's why the more people I get in front of, the more success I have in selling the Mugger Sluggers. Does that make sense?
What do you sell them for?
The keychain unit, which lasts for 2 years, not 1 year like the others, retail for 30. I sell them for 25. My website's muggerslugger.com if you care to look, and my phone number's on there. That'll come directly to me if you want to talk to me. But we have packages like 3 for 70 and another package that has a big home canister, a 3-ounce can that fires 20 feet. That's in a package that has 2 keychain units and a big one, $100 value. We sell for 75, and we have other specials as well. But Yeah, I didn't come on here to sell anyone. I just wanted to find out what you guys are all about.
Chris, you want a speaking gig?
I do.
Absolutely.
Okay. We have a summit coming up in the next few weeks. It's called the Pro Speaker Summit, and our focus is on product, right? And we're focused on having people who've built product talk about how they sell their product using speaking, right? So it's basically a 45-minute interview with me to talk about how your company or your family has built this incredible business that's education first, meaning you're using your voice for the instruction and the marketing of the product, right? So that other people who want to deliver their product, whether it's a course, a physical product like yours, or something else, that want to use speaking as a way of getting their product into the marketplace. I would love to have you as one of our speakers for the Pro Speaker Summit that's coming up in the next month or so.
I would be happy to is that a virtual program or a
Yeah,
live
it's virtual.
program?
We'll talk. It'll be you and I talking about it and just talking about how you all have built the business and the importance of getting in front of,
Well,
you know,
I'm happy to do that. I've been in front of over 3,000 real estate offices over the years. You know, it's so I know how to speak and then sell items, you know, from a speaking engagement. So I'm happy to entertain that idea.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
You have
Angela
to pay me. You have to pay me for the referral for referring me to that. No, I'm just joking.
No, that's perfectly fine. I mean, hey, that's perfectly fine. You know, I mean, we will pay you in the email addresses of everybody who signs up for your talk. You can follow up with them, and you can show them how much of a bad mother slugger you are. And,
do you ship to Canada? Do you ship to Canada?
Unfortunately, I don't. Canada is one of the areas that we can't ship to.
Okay, so I will have it. My
Jasmine?
sister go to my sister's house in Florida, and
That's
then I can
fine.
get it from her.
Sure. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I'm happy to ship there.
Okay, great.
It's legal here in the States, in all 50 states. Certain countries we can't ship to. Sorry.
Yeah, I know us Canadians are a little, you know, we're fighting the tariffs though.
You are the 51st state.
No, we're not gonna start that on here.
No.
We're gonna start that fight.
So for this speaking opportunity, who I mean, how am I going to get in touch with someone? Because I just pushed a button, so I don't even know how to contact you guys.
Angela is in the chat. She probably just sent you a message asking for your email address. And if your email address and phone number is on the website, we can get it off of there. But I would love to have you come and talk about how you, number one, lasted for 40 years in the business as a family business, but also how you use education as the way in speaking. Speaking at 3,000 offices, that is bananas, right? Yeah, that's what we all aspire to do. We want to get our message out and be able to help more people. And what better example than someone like you?
Well, happy to contribute.
Right?
That's right. That's right.
For those who are unfamiliar with the Pro Speaker Summit, let me show you what we did in October. In October, we had Les Brown and a bunch of other TV show folks, all of these different speakers. The theme was proactive. These were people who had proactively booked themselves on stages. So I interviewed them, famous comedians, famous journalists, great podcasters, comedians, television actors that had used speaking as a way to further their career. So if you want to go and listen to some of these, if you haven't listened to any of the interviews from the past Pro Speaker Summit, you should check those out. But we're doing the version 2. And this is focused on product. How do we as speakers sell more product and present more product to the world so that we can get paid what we're worth? I promise you that the long-term lasting value and equity that Chris gets from having a new user of his product definitely outweighs what he could ever be paid in speaker fees, because you can't sell a speaking business. If all you do is speak, you cannot sell that business. But if you build brand equity in a real business that's not dependent upon you and your motivational voice, you can actually sell that business, right? So we're going to make speakers great business owners and help business owners to become great speakers here at Speaker Hub. Any questions or closing ideas? We've been on for an hour and a half. We did 37 minutes of overtime today. We do this meeting every day at 12 Eastern, 3 p.m. Eastern, and 7 p.m. Eastern with speakers from all over the world. I think we're going to get rid of the 7 o'clock because it's not very well attended, but we're going to keep the 12 o'clock definitely. Any questions, Jenny? Good to see you on camera for the first time, even though you've been here 4 times beforehand. Thanks for volunteering to go through the 10-star process that I learned from Drew Houston from Airbnb. Birdie, hopefully you feel like this is a place that can help you to sell more of that course that you're working on, and we can show you how to get on more stages. Good to see you. Chris, look forward to having you at the Pro Speaker Summit. Any other questions, guys? Cardis, high five for doing the lifetime deal with us. Cardis is a lifetime member of Speaker Hub now. Any other questions, comments, concerns? No? All right.
No.
Well, I'll see you
Glad
all
I found
tomorrow.
you.
Chris, you're always welcome back. We'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.